ghost guns. You may have heard the term recently, especially with the Biden administration pushing for new regulations. And now, the Supreme Court has stepped in. But what exactly are ghost guns, and why are they causing such a stir in the US? In today's video, we're going to break it all down for you, including the latest Supreme Court ruling that could change the way these weapons are regulated. Ghost guns are firearms that can be assembled at home using kits or 3D printed parts. What makes them different from traditional firearms is that they do not have serial numbers, making them difficult to trace. These guns can be purchased online in parts, and anyone with basic tools can assemble them at home. Because they bypass the usual background checks required when buying a fully assembled gun, they've become a popular option for people who want to remain off the grid. But this also means ghost guns have become an attractive option for criminals. According to the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives, ATF, ghost guns are increasingly being found at crime scenes. In 2020 alone, more than 10,000 ghost guns were recovered by law enforcement. The rise in ghost guns has sparked concern among lawmakers, particularly those in favor of stronger gun control. In 2021, President Joe Biden announced new measures aimed at regulating ghost guns. Under these regulations, the ATF would treat ghost gun kits the same as fully assembled firearms, requiring serial numbers on parts and mandating background checks for buyers. However, these regulations have faced strong opposition. Gun rights groups argue that the regulations infringe on Second Amendment rights and that assembling firearms at home is a long-standing American tradition. This brings us to the recent Supreme Court case. The Biden administration's regulations were challenged in court, leading to a lawsuit. The Supreme Court was asked to weigh in on whether the administration had the authority to impose such regulations on ghost guns without congressional approval. In October 2024, the Supreme Court leaned in favor of upholding these regulations, with a majority of justices expressing support for treating ghost guns like traditional firearms. This decision is a significant victory for gun control advocates and the Biden administration, as it means ghost guns will now be subject to stricter controls. Legal experts say this decision could set a precedent for future gun control measures, particularly as technology advances and the ways people acquire firearms continue to evolve. So, what does this mean for gun owners and the general public? For one, anyone purchasing ghost gun kits or parts will now need to go through a background check, just like buying a traditional firearm. This could make it harder for individuals with criminal backgrounds to obtain these weapons. Additionally, all ghost guns will need to have serial numbers, making them easier to track if they are used in a crime. For law enforcement, the Supreme Court's decision is seen as a step forward in helping them track and solve gun-related crimes. The lack of serial numbers on ghost guns has long been a frustration for police, and this ruling could make their job easier when it comes to tracing firearms used in illegal activities. Of course, this ruling doesn't mean the end of the debate over ghost guns. Gun rights advocates are already preparing to challenge the decision, arguing that it places unnecessary burdens on law-abiding gun owners. Meanwhile, gun control supporters are hailing it as a much-needed step to curb gun violence. As always, the discussion around gun laws in the US is far from settled. Whether you're for or against the new regulations, one thing is clear: ghost guns are now on the radar, and the laws around them are changing. What do you think of the Supreme Court's decision? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on this and other important topics.